the horse can give us with their body. And we're going to start at the back. He's very in focus right now, so he hears noise out there. Excuse me. Thank you. The first one I would look at is the tail. The tail alone can give us 6 different messages. Right now her tail is what we would call curled. It's slightly off her butt. That's a relaxed horse. If you see a tail that's swishing, what do you think that means?
Angry? Annoyed?
Annoyance, yeah. It can be at different things. There might be flies, it might be something the rider's doing. So if you're riding a horse and it's constantly swishing its tail, you might want to check what you're doing. Could be the saddle not fitting properly. Maybe it needs its teeth done. But it's annoyed at certain things. Excuse me, Blue. If you see a tail that's pointing stiff out at about a 45-degree angle, pointing to the ground about like this. Excuse me, Blue, can we not eat my fence? What do you think that is?
Nervous?
Apprehensive. Not quite sure about things. The next step would be a tail that's clamped between the hind legs, like a dog. That's fear. Excuse me. Can we not wreck my wall? You may have seen a tail, especially in Arabs. They love to do that, which we call the flag, where it's high up.
Yeah.
What is that?
Happy.
Yeah, excitement. Okay. And here's another one, and a lot of people haven't seen that, but it's a ringing tail, like twirls like a propeller.
Yeah.
What's that?
I don't know.
Anger.
That is anger, okay.
That is anger.
You had her.
Yes. Yeah, and it's often in combination with a twirling head and neck.
Oh, okay.
So if you don't know that horse, I would not go into that pen, because he means business. So 6 different messages. We talked about the hip before, about when we talked about the different buttons. Again, I don't want a cocky hip. Same as I don't want a shoulder that's dropped into my space. Barrel. The barrel is the rib cage, the back, the belly. That's what we call the barrel when we sit on. When I stand next to my horse, I want a horse that's either straight or slightly bent, shaped around me. I don't want a horse that's bent into me. Right now she's bent around me. If her head went to the right, she would bring her barrel to the left. She would be bending into me. And what she does then is pushing into my space. It's not only rude, because she's pushing into me, it's also not safe, because if she's looking at something down there, and she's spooking, where is she going to go?
For you.
Over top of me. Excuse me. So I will correct her on that every single time if she's bending into me. So if I'm grooming my horse or tacking my horse, and she's looking that way, I bring her back with the bending button, asking her not to do that. Again, as I've mentioned before, I got to make sure that I'm not the one causing it. Maybe I was pushing her head and neck away with my body language by being impulsive, and then she bent into me. So I've got to fix myself first, and then bring her back. Legs. She's sort of squarish. She could be a little more square. But if you see a horse that's standing really scissored, they're most likely not going to stand there for very long. Excuse me. They're ready to walk away. It's more like a pause instead of a square halt, where they're stopped. I mentioned the head and neck. They can be twirling, which is aggression. Ears. A horse's ears, and I need to look that up because it has over 30 muscles in each ear.
Wow.
I think it's 32 or 36. And they can each rotate independently in every which direction. And as we ride, the horse, preferably the horse's ears should be pointing forward, but sometimes they will be pointed back, just focusing on what we're doing back there. It's not a bad thing. If they're pinned, it will be. I guess everybody knows about pinned ears. Horse is mad. Hi. You may see ears that are kind of flopping down, and that horse is either tired or sick. So those are the ears. Eyes should be blinking, not staring. If you see an eye that's hard and not blinking, that horse is mentally zoned out. He's shut down. And that's not a very good place to be for the horse and for you. It can be very dangerous. So if a horse shuts down on me, which thankfully doesn't happen very often, but if it does happen in training, I get the horse moving so he comes back to me. I also look at facial expressions like muscles. I want them to be relaxed. Same as around the mouth. I don't want tightly held mouth. That's again, usually a sullen, shut down horse. Excuse me. See, this is what I meant about the scissoring, not standing still. Nostrils, everything should be nice and relaxed. Different things they can do. One of them is the yawn. And horses don't usually yawn because they're tired or bored. They yawn as a release. It's a release of anxiety. Okay. So if you had a tough session, the horse may yawn at the end. Things are coming out. Things are working their way out. So she's bending into me. I'm calling her on that. Don't do it. So the yawn is a release of anxiety. If you see a horse shake its head and neck laterally, you've seen that? Mm-hmm. That's a release of muscular stress. It's like shaking off the rider's cramp. Mm-hmm. It's a good thing. You've probably all seen the licking and chewing. And it's usually a change in how they feel, going from stressed to not stressed. It's been commonly said that it means it's a calm horse, which is true to a degree, but it's usually the end result. So the horse has some kind of stress that it's experiencing. It's maybe through training or whatever's happening in the environment, and then it gets back to being relaxed, and that is expressed in the licking and chewing.
Okay.
I just read a whole study on that thing. Actually, it's pretty interesting. Right there. I don't care. Thank you. The bowing is another important one. Horses may bow to you. But there's different ways a horse will bow to you. Mm-hmm. If the horse bows and comes back up level-headed, that's a good thing. He's trusting you, he's respecting you. If he bows and stays down and everything stays relaxed in the face, the muscles are relaxed, the eyes are still blinking, soft, mouth isn't relaxed, that again is a horse that is bowing to you out of trust and respect. But if the horse bows and comes up high-headed, he's being pushed too hard. He's bound to you out of fear. There's no respect, no trust there. Okay. Similar to a horse bowing and then staying down, but everything's hard now. The facial muscles are hard. The eyes are not blinking anymore. Excuse me. Thank you. Again, that horse has been pushed too hard. And come down a bit. We got to back off and reassess what we've been doing. Thank you. So you see how that hip wanted to come at me? Now there's the bend. Don't do that.
Are you really